First time you left Triple J was just a maternity leave and you came back after your first child. Why the permanent leave this time?
Oh, dude, I'm so old for Triple J. That was 100% the reason.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, I was kind of looking forward to not dyeing my hair and stuff, you know? I felt like I was having to be younger than I was, which is just like it messes with your mental health after a while. Not that it was serious at all, but it's just like you just want to be able to speak freely without like self-censoring about playing down your age, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm 35, which isn't ancient, but couldn't talk about like making out with people at schoolies anymore. Didn't feel good, you know?
So I'm curious as to think about the pressure that on-air presenters feel as they get older on air, whereas people behind the scenes, like Kingsmill's quite old. Yeah. I know Nick is also, I think Nick's in his mid-30s as well.
Yeah.
Nick Findelay. I wonder why there's such a disparity in that feeling of pressure for people on air versus people actually curating the music that the young people are listening to.
Yeah, well, I guess you're more the face of what's going on. It's like about your attitude, the way you think, what you do, the way you talk, the way you communicate with listeners, because ultimately it's about that relationship. But it's so valuable to have the, people with experience like Kingsmill and Finlay's behind the scenes kind of steering the ship, essentially, because like there's going to be this whole new a lot of people that are fresh blood, which they can kind of guide through, which I definitely needed when I first started at Triple J. And it also means that there's some consistency in the way that everyone sort of sounds and the way that the station comes together as a whole.
That makes sense. Yeah. And I think it was it Zan Rowe when there was that big, obviously, cycle of presenters, I think it was last year, and she came out and she said, we're supposed to cycle because it's a youth station. We need young people on air.
Yeah.
We have Double J and we have all of these other stations. And was there ever a thought that you might go over to Double J or stay within the ABC ecosystem?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Except that I still could. That's the thing. I still would quite like the idea of doing stuff with Double J. They have significantly less presenters, but there's always great like fill-in opportunities for when Zan's away, which, I mean, the gal loves to holiday. If you follow her on Instagram, she's mad for it. In fact, if you're ever wondering about a place like Japan, where should I go in Japan? Zan has a PDF document for pretty much every country. She's very organized. She has like a list of best places to eat and places to see. I've got many of her PDFs over the time. So that's still an opportunity. And I think I'll still work with the ABC, but I also reckon it's really healthy to get out of there and like potentially explore what people are doing on commercial networks and just in commercial spaces to keep yourself, I don't know, I would never want to be an ABC lifer. I would never want to be someone who stayed there forever because I think it's important to know what the competition is doing.
Yeah, Triple J, or the ABC as a whole, also limits your earning potential, right? Because you get your salary for doing the show and then you literally can't do anything else.
Yeah, 100%. And, this salaries, like, across compared to the rest of the industry is not great. And I know that it's like a very much an ongoing joke at Triple J that no one earns any money. There are a lot of perks, you get festival tickets and tickets to gigs and stuff. But yeah, you have to report if you ever get anything in the mail which looks like it might be worth more than $50, you have to report it and then it gets taken from you.
Shit, every time? Or is it a judgment call?
It's a judgment call because sometimes you don't really know. But like you might get sent a whole heap of chocolates or something from a chocolate company. And in that case, you just have to share it with everyone in the office, which is nice, ultimately. You're like, I kind of would like the chocolates to myself sometimes as well.
Have you seen?
And that's where commercial radio comes in.
Yeah, totally. And Ben and Liam have just made the jump to Nova. I think I saw Matt and Alex are now got a deal with SCA Podcast One, launching a podcast. There seems to be that sort of generation of Triple J I guess, Triple J presenters now making that leap. Is that something you've got your eye on as well?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say no, because that's where I come from. I came from commercial radio. Like, I worked at Nova in Melbourne and Nova in Perth. I also worked at Smooth 94.5 in Perth, which is just the best music. It is a hit parade, 99% success rate. And I was like the youngest person working there by probably, I'd say 30 years or something at the time. So I really pitched my voice down and pretended that I was much older than I was, Veronica.
Opposite problem than a Triple J.
Oh, yes, that's exactly right. I mean, it really fucked with my head. I just want to be me, you know?
Yeah.